Hello, I'm Mr. Newell. I'm the Anti-Terrorism Program Coordinator for the Arkansas National Guard. I work for the J34 Protection Officer at the Director of Military Support. Anti-terrorism is one of the many pillars that support the Army Protection Program and is regulated by Army Regulation 525-13. Today's agenda will cover 5 areas of concern: understanding the threat environment, understanding your role in the force protection condition strategy, your role in reporting suspicious activity, recognizing workplace violence, and response to an active shooter scenario. As a nation, we face both external and internal threats. Externally, there are hostile nation state actors with both the funding and resources to conduct training, gather intelligence, supply weapons, conduct network cyber operations, and supplying other resources into conducting terrorist activities to achieve their goal. Internally, we face domestic violent extremists, lone wolves, or individuals that are motivated by several ideological reasons, such as political, racial, economic, or some other real or imagined grievance, where to them, violence is the only solution. Terrorists continue to evolve their methods, means of attack, and recruiting to stay ahead of mitigation efforts. However, there are trends that stand out. Terrorists are targeting remains diverse as they seek out the targets of opportunity, discover gaps in protection, or as a means of diverting attention away from their main effort. The use of cheap and commonly available weapons and materials are used to avoid detection or suspicion. Homemade explosives, using household chemicals, 3D printed components for detonators or weapons, off the shelf drones for surveillance and delivery are just some examples. Social media plays a critical role in the mobilization efforts to reach and motivating individuals into conducting terrorist attacks. Texts, emails, chat rooms are used to identify potential individuals who have grudges or grievances. These individuals are encouraged or directed to echo chambers where their point of view is reinforced and other ideas are suppressed to foster the idea that violence is the only answer and action must be taken now. Or foreign extremists seek to radicalize, inspire, mobilize homegrown violent extremists as it is safer, less expensive, and easier than training and embedding a foreign actor. Homegrown violent extremists also have the potential to have access to hardened locations such as utilities, government, or DoD facilities. The fostering of insider threat also strains resources and forces targeted organizations to increase the security complexity, which could give rise to frustration and mistrust, creating a vicious cycle. There is also a rise of external terrorist organizations reaching out to foreign fighters to quote, circumvent entry restrictions and the ease of exploiting economic and social issues of individuals of less wealthy nations. Mitigating insider threat requires a holistic approach. An example I like to use is how cashiers and tellers in Las Vegas are constantly on the outlook for counterfeit money. They are trained with real money to instinctively recognize when a bill is not right. That is why it's important for you to learn what right looks like at your duty location, such as do visitors need to be badged or escorted? Where and how do packages arrive at your location? Who should be staying late or coming in early, as this may be a means to defeat security or gain unauthorized access. Sometimes it's hard for individuals to report suspicious activity as there is the fear of making a mistake or being labeled as the tinfoil hat person. The important thing is to remain factual, take note of the indicators, things that do not seem right, and what the potential security concern is. This way, you focus on the actions and not the individual report on the individual and report these to your anti-terrorism officer or security contact. Additionally, anti-terrorism level 1 training is available online and should be conducted annually for the first 3 years of service and every 3 years of continued service. This training can be conducted individually or as a unit by the anti-terrorism officer. Force protection conditions refer to specific actions taken based on the current threat. The conditions range from normal to delta in proportion to the threat. Normal and alpha reflect low or general threat with the intent to detect possible threats. Bravo reflects increased or more predictable threats with the intent to deter threats by creating a hardened stance. Charlie is applied when an incident occurs or intelligence is received indicating terrorism is likely with the intent of detaining threats to prevent further actions. And Delta is applied in the immediate area once an event takes place with the intent of denying the terrorist actions, usually with force or total restriction of that area. It's important to learn what your role and responsibilities are for each one of the FPCON levels, as they may vary widely based upon your organization and role. Take a moment to look over some of the suspicious activity indicators. A single indicator may not be a cause for alarm, so it is important to look at a pattern of behaviors in the context of your work environment. A good example is how deployed route clearance teams search for IEDs. A single pile of rock on the side of the road may be an indicator of a marker. However, there may be many reasons for those rocks. When this is paired with observing wires crossing the road or detection of individuals filming the location or recent patchworks on the road, these drastically increase the chance of an IND emplacement. Again, a good means of reporting is to stay focused on the actions and conditions you observe and the security concerns they present to give your anti-terrorism officer or security point of contact the information they need to take action. Each and every, each and sorry, each and every one of you deserves a safe and productive environment, and workplace violence should be reported before it escalates into an active shooter event. Here we look at the definition of workplace violence, and it's important to note that it does not take a physical attack or damage to be reported. Actions that threaten your safety or impact your physical and or psychological well-being should be reported. Workplace offenders often exhibit certain behaviors. Some may be direct, while others may take a more passive aggressive stance. Often there is observable patterns of projection that everyone and everything around them is the problem with little self-responsibility. What causes behaviors may have external, internal, or both factors. Externally, an individual may be going through a divorce or breakup, financial stress, have a family member that's dying, or facing legal problems. Internally, an individual may have a grievance or grudge, real or imagined, such as believing they're the only one doing any work, or that others are being promoted, advanced, or shown favoritism when it should be them. Counseling and other reprimands all seem personal attacks and not reflective of their work. Mental health may also play a factor, so it's important to report concerns to your anti-terrorism officer or chain of command so the individual can receive the professional help that they need and deserve. Violent behaviors may include one or more of the following. This list is not all inclusive, and it's important to note that not all individuals respond to stress and anxiety in the same way. Some individuals who were once open and jovial may become withdrawn or depressed. Again, looking for patterns and reporting factual observation is key in successful response. Hopefully, workplace violence is dealt with before it becomes an active shooter event. It is important to note that in most active shooter events, there is a connection between the shooter and the location organization that they target. Who is an active shooter? Sometimes it's not obvious as the individual may be scheduled to work or be there that day. They may be dressed in the appropriate uniform and carry on normal expected behavior before the attack. Looking for indicators such as inappropriate clothing, which may be excessively baggy or concealing, inappropriate for the current environment, such as rain jackets and trench coats on a hot summer day, or the presence of unauthorized weapons may give you just enough advance warning to survive. So what to do when it happens? When you receive the alert or directly observe the active shooter, employ the run, hide, fight model. First is run. Your response should be to get away from this situation. This is why it's important to always have an exit route and plan in mind, whether you're in a familiar location, such as your duty location, or an unfamiliar public location. Leaving behind belongings will allow you to move faster and allow you to keep your hands visible as you are leaving the area. It's important to move to a location that will break line of sight to the active shooter and provide cover. Next is hide. Seek areas of cover and concealment. Avoid areas like broom closets if able as to prevent becoming trapped with no exit. And remember to place your cell phone on silence to avoid detection. Avoid gathering at locations such as tornado shelters and fire drill locations, as the active shooter is most likely familiar with the location's layout and may have placed secondary devices or moved to those locations expecting people to arrive. Look for rooms with multiple entrances, which can be barricaded, and with windows with access to ground level. So in the event the active shooter tries to enter, you have an escape route. While barricaded doors may not deter the active shooter, it burdens them with the choice of trying to break through without fully knowing what's on the other side or moving on to seek out softer targets. Five, use this as a last resort. While it may not be your duty to kill this individual, and I'm not saying it is, when presented with this life and death situation, you should do what is necessary to preserve your life and neutralize the threat. This may involve employing improvised weaponry that is available, such as guidons, bottles, chairs, heavy objects, fire extinguishers. Fire extinguishers can be used as blunt objects or discharged into the attacker's face to disrupt their breathing, giving you the time to escape while they recover. Once the threat to your life has been neutralized, you should escape from the area. So when law enforcement arrives, properly interacting with law enforcement and first responders is critical. Keep in mind the primary goal of law enforcement is to locate and neutralize the active shooter. They are not there to treat you if injured. Emergency medical services will most likely be stationed at the edge of the cordon area. uh, Try your best to continue moving and getting to that area. Law enforcement that does arrive must assume that everybody is a threat to their safety. This is why keeping your hands visible is important. As mentioned before, the active shooter may be scheduled to be there and dressed normally, so be prepared to have weapons pointed in your direction, be searched, and possibly handcuffed as law enforcement tries to take control of the situation. Just remember, try to remain calm as possible and follow these listed steps. If law enforcement responders ask questions, try to be as concise as possible. And if able, continue to exit the situation obeying all police instructions. The intent is to avoid a situation where you are mistakenly injured or killed, which would make this event even more tragic. And lastly, be prepared for a prolonged situation. The event could turn into a hostage situation, or you may have to remain hidden until the situation has been resolved. Additionally, the aftermath may involve a lengthy investigation period where you may be detained. Thank you very much.